So you're a sannyasin of Osho's, I believe, Pan.
Yes.
Ah, how long ago did you take sannyas?
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Ah,
And I looked it up because I started to forget the numbers.
yeah.
I found the old paper,
Mm.
I would say the birth certificate,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was in December 75.
Wow. Gosh, you're 75. You're 8 years older than me. I turned 41 this year as far as sannyasin years are concerned of Osho's. But you're way older than me. You look pretty good for your age, mate.
Thank you.
Where are you situated, Pan? Where are you calling from?
I'm born in Germany, and I live still in this country, in the
Ah,
country, in
whereabouts?
a place. Oh, Fulda, I don't think it's the next town. The next bigger town is Frankfurt, but that's about 100 kilometers away.
Ah,
And I live now in a small old house
ah,
in a place called Devil's Rock.
Devil's Rock. Wow. That's
There's a big rock behind the house. It's called Devil's Rock.
and what's the closest town to you?
Fulda,
Boulder.
Fulda, small
I d
town.
Yeah, I don't know it. Yeah.
Oh, this is not known in Australia.
Ah. Yeah, well,
Small.
I live with a lot of people because we've got a community here.
Mhm. You live in the
And
same.
well, I live in the country. I'm up in the hills in Perth, but I'm up in the hills. I think we've got 12 and a half acres up here of bushland in the hills.
Mm.
And it's nice up here. We've got about 12 people living all together on the properties. And they're all friends, they're all sannyasins, and they're all interested in raising their consciousness levels, finding more heart towards enlightenment. Because basically, Osho was my master, and I teach exactly the same stuff he was teaching.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mm. Oh, that's the teaching, right?
Yes.
Not much to say.
Not really, no. But I love saying hello to fellow sannyasins of Osho's. You're my brother in the Osho organization. I know that's fallen apart as far as I'm concerned, but you're an old brother of mine, mate.
Oh, thank you. Brothers in spirit.
Yeah. And ich liebe Deutschland. I like Germany, like German people, like German women. Mm. So you arranged to have a chat with me. Was there a reason why?
Oh, that went via Shakti, this Oshoasis commune in Uruguay. She
Ah,
sent some brochure about the commune
ah,
to, what is his name? Toshka. And
Toshka.
he, Toshka.
Yeah, he's here. Toshka. He's the manager of the society. Yeah, here. Yeah.
So he sent me an email and asked if I would be interested to have a conversation with you.
Mm.
In the beginning, I said, I don't know what to say. No?
No, me neither. Me neither. Pan. Pan's a very interesting name. What does Pan mean?
Oh, it's not my sannyas name. I found it later.
Ah, because it's like Peter Pan.
It's the mythological figure from old Greece.
Ah.
And at some point I realized I'm attached, identified with the concept of being a sannyasin.
Ah.
And so I said, let that go.
Mm.
Sannyas name.
Yeah. I understand. I let go Osho when he passed, when he left his body. I dropped my sannyas connection then. I didn't stop doing the meditations and the openness and everything else, but I just dropped out of the sannyas scene. I didn't particularly like it very much.
Mm. Yeah, so I did a little ritual, some native ritual in nature, and then
Ah.
this name appeared. And said, okay, I got a name from my parents, I got a
Mm.
name from my master, and now find your own.
Uh-huh. I
It was
see.
complete.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm.
Yeah.
But the gratitude to Osho can never fade away.
Same. Absolutely.
Wow.
Same.
Mm.
Same,
One
same.
has to find his own originality. I think that's what he wanted from us.
I think so.
Mm.
He ended up saying that he wanted to be our friends. He didn't want really sannyasins or disciples anymore. Before he died, he was talking about us being his friends, and I go along with that, you know. We're all just friends.
That's beautiful. So I
Mm.
told people I'm connected to, look, I'm not your master, I'm not a guru, I'm a spiritual friend.
Yep.
And then later on, I read in a Sufi text that the Sufis use this phrase spiritual friend, for their
Yep.
shape. And the text said, the one who is dissolved in Allah is the spiritual friend. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that's great.
Yep. That describes it pretty well. The one that's dissolved in Allah. Yes.
Becomes the spiritual friend.
Yes. Hmm.
Mm.
Were you in Pune with Osho?
Yeah, I was in Pune 1 most of the time.
Ah.
I worked in the ashram for 2 years in the
Ah.
arts department in the Mala shop.
Ah.
And then we were transferred to the desert, to, to Saswat, for the impossible new commune.
Yeah. I lived there for 8 months. Mm.
Pune 1?
No, America,
Ah, America.
Oregon. Yeah.
Mhm.
I lived in Pune too. I lived in Pune too for 5 months.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
So when the ashram closed, shortly before, I fell very ill. So I had to leave the country. I had a second time the amoebas, and I realized I cannot recover in India anymore. But it was anyway in the air. Everybody was about to leave.
Ah, that's just before they went to America.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, in 80, I think it was 89, because he died in 1990 or he passed in 1990. In 89, I got very sick with amoebas and had to go back to Australia because I didn't want to go to an Indian hospital, so I came back here.
Yeah.
And then he passed a month later. Yeah, he looked very frail when he came into satsang. Very frail. And of course, Vivek
Yeah.
had passed a couple of months before that.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. His body was very, yeah, actually very ill.
I think that I think that he got poisoned by the Americans.
Yes. That what he also said, and he sent some hair and some samples of his body to some institute in England, and he said heavy metal, most likely thallium.
Yeah, well, that's what he said. He said he was radiated.
Also this,
Yeah, yeah. Well, such a shame. He was such a beautiful man.
in a way he knew it, because he knew that he is provoking such things.
Yeah, I don't think you should do that in America unless you want to get shot.
Yeah, he did not know the American ways.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he realized how dirty they play.
Yeah, if you grow
Mm.
up in the Indian surrounding who, in a way, respected such people, then you
Mm.
cannot imagine. Because I read then later on, American sannyasins also wrote about their experience, and they were often shocked that he said, he does not know how the American government plays. They
Mm.
just keep.
No, he didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it had to happen like that.
mm, yeah.
Mm. I remember in Pune once somebody threw a knife, but it was a very lousy attack.
Yeah, I heard about it. That's when he got the guards on. The guards started being there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm sitting in a hall that was built to do satsang here in Rollystone, which is up in the hills in Perth. And there's one other person here with me. It's Tosh Carr. He's the he's the manager of the society. We created a Buddhist society because it was a great umbrella to operate under in Australia, because it gives us a completely tax-free status.
Uh,
Yeah, which is great. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Mhm. That was for me never needed. It is all like on a private base with friends.
Ah,
We never created any organization or anything like that. And I lived also for 24 years with the people in one house, an old farmhouse. But this year in August, we had to leave it. The owners wanted the house back.
ah,
And then the commune dissolved. And now there are 3 communes around here, and we meet regularly.
oh yeah. Yeah, well, about must be about 13 years ago or 14 years ago now. My wife and I broke up, and I got together with another woman about 6 months later, and she was a businesswoman, because I had no motivation whatsoever to do anything. But she had lots of motivation, and she had lots of drive, and she set up this Buddhist society and got us to own a lot of property up here in Australia. And so I'm quite grateful to her, because she's helped set up an infrastructure that we can operate out of here and teach higher consciousness from, teach the way of the heart from. It's very beautiful.
Great. Do you, some older sannyasins from Australia contact you, or you meet
Yeah,
them?
yeah. I've got a couple of older sannyasins here who were in Pune 1.
Ah,
Yeah, one of them was one of Osho's guards. They live on the property, and they've been with me now for, gosh, 14, 15 years.
oh, wow.
But right now, we're getting a lot of people from overseas coming from different countries, from America, from Mexico, from India, from Germany, from a lot of people. We've even got inroads to Russia now. Last week, we put our AI version of me holding satsang in Russia, And it's only been 2 weeks and it's had 35,000 views. And so the Russians are getting a taste. And from my perspective, it's a taste of Osho, because I just feel that I'm doing exactly the same job, helping people find their hearts and love each other.
Likewise.
Yeah.
What else to do now? Or what else can happen?
No, that's it. If you can find your heart, you're a wealthy man or a wealthy woman.
Yes. Sensitivity,
Yep,
awareness goes along with sensitivity.
it does.
Same.
Yes, yes. So I don't get to meet many people like you because I'm not in the sannyas scene at all, really. And so it's lovely to meet you. It's lovely to say hello to you. It's lovely to see another flower that has grown in Osho's garden.
I can say the same.
Mm.
I tried in around to when I did the inquiry, 2003, to connect. There was this satsang wave suddenly happening.
Yeah.
Connect many people, but did not really work out. Happens like that. I forgot it. So, a few contacts happened to, maybe you have heard from whosoever who's in South India. He was,
No, I don't think so. You remember Ananda Tirtha, therapist?
yes,
Ananda Tirtha. Yeah. Ananda Tirtha was my main teacher because when I was in the mystery schools, I spent maybe 18 months under his tutelage. And so he was basically into encounter. He was an encounter therapist.
yes, right.
And so that happens here a lot. I've been in encounter now for 51 years. And so a lot of encounter, but it's done with love. It's not done with anything else.
Tirsa dropped then also later out of the range, went to Italy. Naja, every soul has their own unique ways to go.
Yeah. I'm so pragmatic. Whatever works is worthy as far as I'm concerned. If it works, it's worthy.
Right. So you're right in the Buddhist line, Buddha's line.
In a way, I'm more Osho's line really, but Osho taught Buddhism, so that's where I learned about Buddhism was through Osho.
Yeah, right.
But I've studied Buddhism and I don't agree with a lot of it. So there's a problem here in Australia. The Buddhist Association of Australia won't accept us because I don't agree with renunciation. I think renunciation, particularly sexual renunciation, is a form of stupidity. so, so, so they don't like me very much. Fortunately, I don't care. Yeah.
No, I just heard from Osho that the Buddha said, whatsoever works is the matter. That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's true. I agree totally. Yep, exactly.
Whenever an organization arises after such a spirit left, it goes down the drain.
This one's been going for 26 years now,
Mm.
and it's still thriving. A lot of lovely people involved in it. Everybody's my friend, and I love everybody.
Great.
I can't help it. I love you. I can't help it. Yes.
Lovely. Yeah. So how is your body?
70 years old, and I took a trip to Thailand about a month ago and got amoebas up there, and so I'm still recovering from that. And I'm waiting to see the doctor next week, maybe to get some antibiotics, because I feel a bit weak. But besides that, I go out dancing once or twice a week with my sannyasins. We go and listen to heavy metal rock and roll. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Rammstein, which is a German band, is one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah.
Too noisy for me.
Yeah, I understand. I experience myself as the silence that the noise appears in, and so it simply doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Yeah, it's a matter of taste. Some like this, some like that.
It's also to take the young people out. They don't want to sit around, they want to go out. So I go out with them,
Okay,
Yeah. They're fun.
that's great.
Yeah.
So the people around me they like to sit.
Oh, Tosh is sitting right now. People like to sit, but the younger people also like to be in the world as well.
It's true.
And so I take them out into the world so they can play.
Mm-hmm.
And like tonight, we'll probably go and see a band at a hotel called the Leopold Hotel, and we'll have a dance, We'll have a dance, and then we'll go home. Do you hold satsang?
You could call it like that.
I can feel your silence.
I became very quiet the last years.
Mm.
And to share this is the best what can happen.
Yeah, I agree.
So we meet almost every day in a small group
Mm.
in this room here,
Yes,
sharing.
yes. We meet every day as well. Every day. We've got a sharing coming up in about an hour and a half. A group of people who are here will be doing a sharing, a meeting. Anyone can say whatever they like. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. But it gives people a chance to get to know each other as well and love each other.
Yes.
At the moment, a lot of them are we have an avocado farm, and a lot of them are on the avocado farm picking the avocados because we're cropping right now.
It's springtime in Australia.
Yeah, it is. Well, you don't know whether it's going to rain or be sunny here at the moment. The weather's all over the place.
Yeah.
It would be a good day today for a motorbike ride.
Oh.
How old is your body?
In a few days, 72.
Ah, you're a 52 baby.
52.
Yeah. We are the same era, you and I. You got into spirituality before I did. I was into personal growth before I met Osho. You got in, and that was back from 1972, personal growth, but I didn't get into the spiritual stuff or the higher consciousness stuff really until I met Osho. And that was 83, so it was later. Personal growth was good because it was all about removing limiting belief systems, which are the same belief systems you need to remove to raise your consciousness level. So it was pretty good. Had some good teachers.
Great.
Always a beginner, mate. always a beginner.
As the Zen people say, the beginner's mind.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a beginning,
Always,
yeah,
always.
always learning.
Well, always open, never closed. The moment you think you know, you're closed. It's best to not know.
Absolutely.
Mm.
We go along with old Socrates. The only thing I know is that I don't know, he said.
Yeah, very true. A very, very good statement. You remind me of me.
Although we are quite different, but the same spirit.
Ah, you're human.
Hmm?
You're human.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also
Mm.
human and a bit more like everybody. It's just
Mm.
forgotten.
Yeah, I haven't really felt human for 26 years because I can't sense anybody here. There's a sense of nobody being here, an absence.
Right.
Mm.
And then what to say about it, no? So I came quite some time ago to the point to say, look, to me, freedom is to live without a definition. No definition.
That's good. I agree. Absolutely. All definitions are bullshit.
You become a prison.
Yep. You become a prisoner of the definition. Yep. Identity happens again.
Yes.
Mm.
So whenever an identity appears, let it go. And now lately, for many years, it's empty inside. There are
Mm.
still thoughts running through sometimes. They come, they go. Body sensations, just watching.
Yeah. Well, that's what Osho taught, witnessing the mind.
Witnessing the mind, yeah. That's the meditation, what never ends.
Mm-hmm. My
And it's
mind.
expanding. The watching expands. It's not an end point. It's still expanding.
Agreed. Absolutely. My mind went silent about 26 years ago. It couldn't be bothered talking to itself anymore. Very beautiful. It got to a stage 26 years ago where the only thing it trusted was silence and stillness, because that was the only thing that was honest. Silence and stillness.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Thoughts are only useful when they are practical.
Exactly. I don't usually talk to people who are where you're at. I haven't got anything to say usually. I talk to seekers who still want to find something, still looking.
Same,
Yeah.
same.
I spoke to, who was that awake teacher I spoke to?
Swaha.
Swaha. Do you know Swaha?
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah, I spoke to him. That was
Yeah.
nice. That was nice. It was nice to talk to him. But that was really unusual because I just don't have an attraction to people who have found home. I have an attraction to people who want to find home because that's my love affair. That's my sharing my master's, my master's dream, to help people find freedom.
What else to share?
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
And then the space opens and people can go in tune,
Yeah.
synchronicity.
Yes. That's it.
Mm. But it's very beautiful to come to know you.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect because I wasn't told anything about you except your name was Pan, and that you're an old Osho Sanyasin. I didn't know anything else. Yeah. So, hello.
Hello again.
Hmm.
I knew a little bit more about you to the sharing with Swaha. I watched there were two meetings.
Yes.
Right? I watched both two, and it was a great delight to see and to feel that Osho seeds are flowering,
Yes.
coming out.
Yes. From my perspective, Osho is not dead because he's living through us, because he was a Buddha and his field of energy is living through us. The Americans couldn't really kill him. It's still here.
It, it's so. It's so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he said it also before he left the body, you will find me everywhere.
Yeah.
I was a bit shocked, but then I realized it's true.
Yes. Absolutely true.
Mm.
There. There you are. Mm. Mm.
So when I share with people, it's always falling in the same space I experienced when I was at Darshan or could talk to him or sitting in lectures. Space opens, my mind is empty,
Mm.
just presence.
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
And then
yes.
it's often difficult to say something, but since people have questions, it's easier.
Yes.
Then something comes, something comes.
Mm.
And nothing comes, I wait, but always something appears.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the same for you.
It is the same. I get a lot of people, new people coming and going, so there's lots of questions. And I just love them. I love these people. They're so beautiful.
Yes, they are all expressions of the divine
Mm.
in search of it. Although
Mm.
it's in them, but you have to find.
Mm.
Mm. So I like to say it like this, it's reminding people on this what they have forgotten.
Yeah. I understand what you just said. I don't necessarily agree with it, that's all. Because if they haven't experienced it, they can't forget what they haven't experienced. I didn't know God until I started having satori's after talking to Osho, because I was lucky enough to sit in front of him for 41 minutes. And a year and a half later, I started having satori's. I found myself as the universe. Then I knew what I was, but before that, I didn't. I mean, I intellectually understood it through Osho's teachings, but when I found myself as the universe, that's very different than an understanding. And so I got lost for a while because I remembered the satori's, and at that stage I thought I was actually awake, and I wasn't. I was just remembering the satori's. There's a huge difference between remembering and being.
Right.
Mm.
But it starts like that.
That's how it starts, yes. Hence the saying, if you meet the Buddha on the path, kill the Buddha. The satori's were the Buddha, and unfortunately I got trapped in the memory of them. It took a while, and when I killed the Buddha, I let the memories go. And then I think it was 8 years after Osho passed, the Advaita Vedanta people started coming to Perth. And I was sitting in the front row waiting for the teacher to come in. And the moment he walked in the door, I found myself as the universe again. All that was required was the Buddha, his Buddha field. That's all that was required. And then bang, the universe again.
Wow. I had that experience when Osho looked into my eyes. It was
Yeah.
like how the universe looks at you and bang,
Yeah.
mind was
Yeah,
an
yeah,
explosion.
yeah. It scared the shit out of me. I remember.
Came afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards. Yeah, yeah. The
Afterwards, I
fear.
got fear. But while this was happening, there was
Nothing.
no mind, there was no fear.
Yeah, no
But it
fear.
came back, it came back.
Yeah. Well, when I interviewed him, because I was a journalist, I had 2 interviews. I never did the second interview because he scared the shit out of me on the first one. But it was a result of that interview. He blew me apart. I started having satoris a year and a half later. It was because it's like he was my spiritual father. He opened my crown, my third eye, my heart. You can't get better than that.
Absolutely so. Yeah. And then it started to crystallize.
It took a while. It took a while.
Takes a while.
Yeah.
Same.
Because I didn't realize that the small silence and stillness I was finding was actually also Satori. I was still looking for the wham bam thank you ma'am, the big thing where I was experiencing myself as the universe, every particle in it being love. I was still comparing. I wasn't seeing that the silence and the stillness that I was feeling was also a Satori.
Yeah. I had the same. I was waiting for something big to happen. And then 24 years later, I realized it had happened.
Yeah.
But it, in a way, I became very simple and ordinary, and I think I always was like that. Only the mind wanted to be special, and that's a disaster.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
painful.
So I don't know if you heard my story, but I was a businessman and I was
Yes.
very successful. And I realized that identity as a successful man was in my way. And so I actually literally gave my companies to my staff, took my shoes off and walked around Australia as a bum for 4 years so I could become ordinary again. And nobody going nowhere.
Great.
Yeah. Best thing I ever did.
Mm.
Oh,
I was
besides
never.
meeting Osho.
Hmm?
Besides meeting Osho.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was never in the society. From all what the society had to offer, I knew it's not for me, but I
Uh,
needed to find something to say yes. I was a big no to everything. I do not want to build a house, have a family, make a career, all that what you normally do, have children and so on. I knew, no, that's not what I want. I'm not here for it. But I had to
Yeah.
find something to where the yes appeared, and that happened with Osho.
Yes.
And then I
Agree.
knew when he looked into my eyes, I knew what I'm here for. And
Yes.
that look is still there.
Yes. Yes.
Something started, what is still continuing, expanding, continuing.
Yes.
Now since so many years. And it's fantastic.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
When people are open, then a kind of synchronicity can happen. That you pulled into that space. But it is also the people I'm connected to have done many groups and all these things already. So they have ripened to meditation.
Yeah, I understand. I tend to do all of it. I tend to do the encounter therapy and the meditation training and the holding satsang. I do the lot. I kind of am at it all day long, every day. And I love it. It's my love affair with humanity, my love affair with life.
Mhm.
Did you ever run across Paresh from Amsterdam?
Oh, yes, that's how I became a Sanyasin.
Ah, because he was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Mm.
He, in 74, he did in Germany a 1 month group called Therapeutic Community. And I
Really?
participated in this. And that
Ah,
was the first mind-blowing. Came in contact with dynamic meditation, Osho's
yes,
lecture.
yes.
And he transported some of his spirit very, very strong, very strong.
Yeah. I went and stayed with him in Amsterdam, and when he was in Australia, I used to play with him. He was fun. I enjoyed him.
Yeah.
University was a pretty cool place.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, later on, during this, what I called inquiry, he visited our place when there was still, visited a commune. It was a beautiful meeting.
Mm.
But yeah, I met him 2 times, so to say. One in this group, and later on for a few hours in our house.
I did a group with him in, I think, 84 in Australia, and he had us drink a bottle of beer and then made us do dynamic meditation. And I decided right then and there I wasn't going to do any more groups with him because jumping up and down with a bottle of beer in you is not fun. He was extreme, but he was a good guy. I really loved him.
Yeah, and enormously creative.
Mm. He was in Pune in '89 when I was there, and I connected with him there. And I had a video camera with me, and I made a video of the drug dealers dealing with the kids, selling the drugs to the kids. And I made the video and I gave it to Varesh, and he gave it to the police because the kids were being polluted. Unfortunately, they weren't being protected.
Hmm.
Mm.
Strange things happen.
Unfortunately, yes. We got to see a lot of strange things.
It's the planet of strange things, also.
Mm.
Hmm. The absence of love creates madness.
I agree. It is the thing that this planet needs is love. If there was love, there'd be an absence of selfishness. If there was love, there'd be an absence of war, rape, murder, theft. Love is the only thing that I teach, really. I teach people how to find love through the practice of openness.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the only way possible. I know nothing else.
Yep.
And it expresses to the originality and the uniqueness of different individuals, but it's
Mm.
the different flowers but the same flavor.
I like it when it was called the true jewel of consciousness, love,
Mm.
the way of the heart,
Right.
the noble path.
Yeah, we're in the same boat.
Yeah, I think I think so too.
The Taoists call it the empty boat. Nobody in, just the boat
Yes, 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 yes,
floating on the river of life.
yes, yes, yes.
Surrender to the stream.
Yes.
accepting that what is.
Yes.
That's all I know. And it's not that I know it, it's all there is.
Yes. We're on the same planet, you and I.
Still, yes. I hope a little bit longer
Mm.
to share.
Yeah.
That's the only reason for me to stay around still.
Same. The only reason I'm here is to share this love and to help others find it.
And the more you share it, the more it expands in you.
It seems that's true.
It never stops. It's
Mm.
unlimited. It's amazing.
Yes. Mhm. Earlier I said I felt that you are like me. You are. We have the same understandings.
That's why it's great to talk to each other. Although it's
Mm.
not much to say, no?
Nah, there never was. There never was, but there never was with Swaha either. But I wanted to connect with him for a different reason. One of the reasons was we can use the video on the internet through YouTube and wherever, TikTok and wherever else to promote the Dharma, to promote the truth, to promote the way of the heart.
You're very good at it.
Well,
I saw the videos. You have a good team.
We have a team. We have a lot of really good people who work on videos, make them up, do them. We got people working on them right now. Mm.
So let's see what wants to happen.
Always, always, always. Just here, just here, just here.
Yeah, it's beautiful to sit with you and just share the silence.
Yes.
And it's amazing that it also works via the machines.
Oh, that blows my mind. When people started telling me what they were feeling through the internet, I was going, wow. Because up until COVID, I didn't really do this. I actually only held satsang in this room in another hall. And then the internet, COVID came and we couldn't have people in the hall because the government wouldn't let us. And so I went online and it just took off around the world. It's wonderful stuff. I love the internet. I love Zoom.
Really? It's a bit
Yeah, yeah.
foreign. I'm not into that, but I have a good friend who has a passion for this. He sits
Ah,
here, installed the whole thing.
yeah. I have other people here. I have technicians also, and they make this happen. I did have an interest. I got interested in computers, I think in 1995 when Windows came out with 1995, Microsoft. Because I've got that type of engineer's mind that likes mechanical things and computers are mechanical things. So I got right into computers and really enjoyed them for quite a while. Now I just use Apple because I don't want to know about them. Apple is pretty seamless.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mm.
I was never in such things, I was into art and poetry.
Ah, yeah, well, Osho advised us to do art. So I went back to school and did art school for a year in 1990. The year he passed, I went back to school and did a year of art school. Painting, drawing, and silversmithing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I loved it.
Wow.
I really loved it. It was just what a wonderful year of creativity.
Mm. Yeah,
Mm.
became before I became a sannyasin, I was on a carving school in Germany, wood carving school,
Oh, really?
and do wood sculptures. But I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
finished. Osho came in between.
Yeah.
Then I went overland to India, what took me quite some time in those
Mm.
days.
Mm.
Then later on, I had this great luck and that great blessing to work in the ashram as a woodcarver, as a sculptor in the jewelry and arts department.
Oh,
And that
nice.
really boosted the creativity. So
Yeah.
what I learned in school were the ABC, but was just a good base, a practical, technical
Yeah.
base. But
Yeah.
creativity happened in the ashram.
Ah,
And I
nice.
went back to Europe, to Germany, and I lived in Belgium for some time. Then I
Ah.
went completely into arts and crafts, and later on in painting, sculptures, block printing, and such things for many years. And then one day it all stopped.
Ah.
Around 2000, I had a little accident, came with a finger in a machine.
Oh no.
And yeah, but it was a blessing because I found one of my strong identities. I can handle everything, and I couldn't handle nothing. So I had to
Ah.
give them this idea. Now, I grew up on a farm, and my
Ah.
grandfather said, if you have two healthy hands, you will make it. So I had
Yeah.
this identity, I can make it, until
Mm.
I could not. I
Yeah.
needed help.
Yeah.
Okay, I needed that hit. And then the whole art thing just popped. It was done as if somebody pulls the plug.
Yeah.
It was finished. And
Yeah.
another creativity had to happen.
Mm.
Had an explosion of energy, but what to do with it?
Mm.
Hmm? And that was this time when a lot of satsangs happened in Germany, Europe. Many people came out with it. 𝐬𝐞𝐥𝐼R, maybe you heard of him.
Advaita Vedanta?
Also,
Ah.
different streams, also sannyasins.
Mm.
And then I asked myself, yeah, what do you do now? Art,
Mm.
art trip is done. It's just finished. It's not going on.
Mm.
I picked up these old Osho cassettes,
Mm.
put it in the tape recorder, switched it on, and give me a message. And
Mm.
then the voice said, since when does the well run after the thirsty? So, okay, thank you. I will do nothing.
Yeah. Beautiful. Since when does the well run after the thirsty? Yeah.
Okay, you do nothing. You just be
Yeah.
available, wait. And then
Yeah.
people appear. One, two people speaking with them, they liked it, he came back, and then something started to grow.
Mm.
And what I did, I was writing to my sannyas friends a letter, said from now on I only want to share essential in
Mm.
all socializing and all stories, the whole thing, just essentials.
Mm.
The result was I had no more friends. He said, you have gone crazy.
Ah. I understand.
Step or two, so you are now on a spiritual ego trip or whatever.
Mm.
Found new friends. They just
Yeah.
appeared. It was a
Yeah.
bit, was surprising. That's all I did, writing a few letters
Mm.
to people I knew. And then it started. I invited people for coffee and cake for free.
Okay.
No?
Mm.
I was inspired by, um, what was his name? Oh, it doesn't come anymore. About a
Mm.
famous American author, Henry Miller. Yeah? Henry Miller met once a young man and he said, you're a famous author. I want to become an author. What shall I do? He said, buy tea, invite people for free, give them tea and read your manuscripts. And maybe they get interested. Okay. So I do this. I invited 15 people. They came because they thought it's a kind of social happening, and sharing started to happen. And then almost everybody left. So this is too much. This is too crazy. Just
Ah,
do it. And he came back. And that's how the whole thing started.
ah,
And since then, in some magical ways, people connect.
yeah. I went differently. I became an Advaita Vedanta teacher, and people started coming because the energy would blow their minds, and they loved it, and they'd find the silence and the stillness. But after a while, I learned that Advaita Vedanta is not for people at the beginning. It's only for people at the end of the path. So I stopped teaching it and started helping people learn to meditate, witness their mind, practice openness, beginner stuff, develop maturity, because so many people are just too immature to play.
Mm,
So kindergarten in a lot of ways.
This is also has to happen. Somewhere
Yes.
it all has to start.
Mm.
So it's amazing that the divine expresses to everybody different, but in some way in the same.
Mm.
The approach is
Well, the stillness and the silence is the same.
that's the same.
Mm.
That's always the same.
Always.
Mm. But the way it expresses is very individual.
Mm.
And I was never good in teaching. I'm not a teacher.
Ah, yeah. I trained as a psychotherapist. I trained as a naturopath. After I finished walking around Australia, I went back to university and trained as a naturopath and trained as a psychotherapist because I wanted to have some tools to help people with, because I was just a businessman before that. And that was wonderful. It was wonderful to help people with their health and their mind. I loved it. It was just so nice to be able to help people find a little bit of peace, a little bit of happiness.
So you have these gifts. So you have to live that. Everybody carries certain gifts.
Mm.
We have to live that in their originality, and that is very fulfilling.
Mm.
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 I think I have the gift to be a friend.
Yeah. I feel like I'm talking to a friend. Mm. It actually feels like someone I've known a long time, an old friend. Mm.
That's why we have to meet again that way.
Yeah.
There is no coincidences.
No, I don't think so either. I don't know the purpose or the meaning, but I don't care. I just do it.
Okay.
Mm.
You see, when it was clear that we have this Zoom meeting, I started
Mm.
to feel your energy.
Ah,
The meeting happened already before it happens on the screen.
yes,
Cannot describe it. It was just some energy was there, an
yes,
intensity.
yes. There's a transmission. It's a mystery to me, but there's a transmission that occurs.
Yes.
Mm.
Mm. This is what I feel I can pass on because with Osho I had so many transmissions,
Mm.
and that's all I can share, transmission.
Same. But
And when people need
I,
therapy, I send them to the Human University.
ah,
I
I
have
have,
the feeling that is
I do
good.
the, I do the therapy.
In the past, I also did something of it, but then the energy disappeared. This whole
Yeah,
doing, and then
yeah.
I And since there are places like the Human University where I know they do a good quality therapy, so I said
Yeah.
maybe, and then you can come.
There's nobody here in Australia.
Ah,
There's nobody here. I was sending. I
then you
was,
have to do it all.
yeah. So yeah. We even have our own wellness center here. We have counselors and yoga and all sorts of different therapies run there, but they're not as good. They're nowhere near as good as University. You know, it's just that was brilliant. What Varesh was doing there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's the way it is. You just got to do what you can do.
and you do it.
Yeah, and you do it.
Happens.
Yeah.
Better to say it happens.
Mm.
There is no you who does it.
Hmm. As a matter of fact, right now I've got a meeting about to occur in about 2 minutes because the people who are working in the fields on the avocados are coming back for a meeting here, and I'm involved in that meeting. It has been absolutely lovely meeting you. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
Great
Thank you.
meeting. Namaste.
Namaste. Indeed. You are very welcome.
You do. Maybe we meet again.
We'll see. I would love to say hello to you again, but I don't have. You've already found, you see. My interest is in the ones who still don't know, who are still lost.
I understand.
Yeah.
But okay, namaste. So,
Yes,
Vishrant.
indeed. Namaste.
Yeah. Have
Yes.
a good meeting and let's see what wants to happen.
We'll see what wants to happen. Thank you.